Yeah, we do, Lottie. The first team looking to take the cake today is the Dallas Empire.
Kill, but on the flank, it's going to be Placer. Hey, Placer's going to get bumped. Four going to drop three. They're going to get the clear. You've got to go fast. You've got to go quick. You've got to go that way out. It's chaos.
Show Dallas Empire how you feel. I don't know if they're used to being the bad boys, quite frankly, but the guys who know that they have some fans in this audience are our next team, Chicago Huntsmen.
He's going to get caught, but they line up for Scuff. And Scuff, the king. This is dangerous. 10 in a row. Gunless keeps on rolling. 9. Formal hits the shot. It doesn't have to move. He goes. Oh my lord!
Copper Box Arena, give it up for the Chicago Huntsmen. Now, we have two gentlemen making their debut this year in London. They're keen to meet you all, and their names are Maven and Maven?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, well, I've got a strange echo, but now I believe our mics are live. So hello everyone. Sorry about that.
I had a mask on.
The mics on. But Joe, you looked absolutely beautiful. Might be a little bit biased there, but you looked fantastic. Yes, let me hear it. It fuels me. It's my favorite chant in the world. But this matchup might be my favorite matchup so far, Joe. All the hype coming in regarding Dallas, Chicago, shut everybody up very, very quickly. Chicago looked a team to beat this weekend without Atlanta in attendance. I just want to know if Dallas is going to play them a little bit tougher here. And when we talk about the maps and modes we're going to have in this, we have a couple repeats, right, from the first series?
Yeah, so this was going to be, well, this was map 4 that we saw in Minnesota. I mean, Chicago, they looked great. They won around 250 to 170. Then we're going to see Hackney Yard domination later on in the series, map number 3. That was one where Chicago just absolutely dominated, but we got a long way to go before we get to that.
So even though you just saw Empire look a lot better, obviously, their matchup today, they got the victory. They show that they are a team to be reckoned with. You still got to heavily favor Huntsmen, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Chicago has looked a better team so far throughout this year. Dallas, it was a couple of tough matchups. Atlanta, Chicago, but we thought they were going to be better. Let's see if they're better here today.
We'll kick things off with the King. It's going to be Scuffy looking to make the play inside of green, as Huntsmen will get control of the hard point. He tries to hold the push, but it's Crim6 and Shotzi. They're able to push through and alleviate some of the pressure towards the hard point for now, but I think this is big for both of these teams here this weekend, though. Because Chicago, they're the favorite. They're the ones that need to come in and win the event. Dallas need to shut everybody up. You saw the memes. It was like it was the Dallas Routers, basically. You saw the picture of the router. We all saw it. All the trash talk between then and now. Can they improve on what we saw in Minnesota?
So far, so good for Chicago. They're controlling the right side of the main map as we rotate towards that depot side. Formal, he's able to pick up 2 kills. As he's going to back things on up with Scum Placer now. A lot to work with. You see all of Dallas starting to work the top track side. So Formal with this M4 has some work to do. Not able to find it, but the rotation in a depot is here. In Chicago, they have the setup they want.
Well, you see the MP5 can do it in all ranges. You got everything there, like an ADS close range kill, long range kill, hip fire, is now he's going off. Scump 8 and 2, quadruple positive with 4 in a row. But that's a strong bit of cover there that Hook had. He's gonna have to back down from that for now. Try to keep the streak going as the lead. Up to 60 here, Joe.
Yeah, already a great hold with 30 seconds remaining. I mean, you just look at the kill feed. It is all green right now. Scump on a 5-3 finally gets shut down. Gunless, it's his turn, and with 20 seconds left, Dallas, they should be thinking about rotating here, but if you take a look at the minimap, it's actually Chicago who's already on their way. You have Scump, you have RC's already set it up as minecart area, and they're trying to flip positions for the later hills.
They've got a chance to do this, especially once the old hard point finishes. You might have a bit of a pinch that's getting set up just based on the next spawn coming through. Now here we go, the battle at minecart. Envoy wins his one-on-one on one side, Scump does it on the other end of things. And they should get control, but they lose that fight inside event, so there's still someone there to make a play from Dallas Empire. Is it going to be enough to keep it scrappy early? It looks like the answer is yes. It's Illy that's getting it done.
I'll say Gunless was trying to sneak his way through the Dallas side. He does get taken down. Illy, he's able to snap, finds that on the Scump, trying to stay alive. Shotzzy's there to help him. The two young guns locking this one down. But here comes Chicago right off spawn, just so fast behind those smokes into the hill.
I know Illy's only 6 and 8, but that was 4 in a row, I think, in a big time, because you were at risk of getting blown out early in this game. He makes the huge wave of kills. They get a really big chunk of time here at minecarts and really keeps him in this game. If he doesn't make that play, I mean, this is what? You might have an 80, 100-point advantage already for Chicago early.
Well, that's what we saw in the end of that depot hill with 20 seconds left. Dallas went for it one more time. They went for that scrap time, so it ends up working out. Now only a 10-second lead for Chicago, but still a very balanced effort across the board for them. You look at the top left, you already had 3 players in double digits. This is what we saw in Minnesota against this Dallas team. Everybody contributing.
Yeah, especially in the response, man. Like, it was so consistent. And looking to keep that winning formula going here, but contested currently inside of containers. Everybody drops in and around the hard point. A one-on-one will be set up inside. Clay gets the kill before he gets traded out almost instantly. Dallas, a chance maybe for a lead change in this. Down 17 with 20 seconds remaining, but it's going to be Chicago right into the hard point.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas right now is just playing conservative. They want to control that left side of the minimap, so when we rotate to warehouse, that 4th hill can really be a money hill where you can rack up a lot of time. So they're going to give up about 20 more seconds. Chicago, that lead from 10 grows to about 40, so a nice 30-second chunk there for Chicago, but now this is the hold that Dallas needs. This could put them in the lead.
And what's interesting too is that the slaying differential is not that crazy. It's about 5 kills or so. Well, probably a little closer to 8, but it's like not that wild. It's still pretty even, but you got the big edge to Huntsmen when you talk about the overall scoreboard. But how much damage can Dallas do inside a warehouse? This is the first big wave coming in from Empire. 4 kills through for Empire, making a 5th as Hoop chains together 2. But as 2 fall, now a chance to flood forward for Huntsmen. The close spawn coming in at minecart as they try to get on in. Everybody dropping from Empire. They're spawning out containers. That's a wondrous break on your second push there from Huntsmen.
And it's actually crazy because Crim6 was pushed up towards the hop-up. He was pushed up middle of map. He was cutting things off, and it looked great. But he left his teammates behind. He thought they were going to pick up those kills, get those trades. They had the number advantage. Chicago, they go big behind the King of Scump. 19 and 12 on a 3 spree. Able to lock and break that hill. Going to keep their lead.
Scump and Formal just light up the kill feed. We'll now look to get into our second set of rotations here with a 20-point advantage for Huntsmen. Scump keeps it going. Finally drops, but the damage done and into the hard point early. Go Huntsmen, but it's Hook that goes big inside of green. And that'll keep Huntsmen at least out of the hard point for now as he has the angle in through that window. Formal at top containers trying to line it up with the M4, but he just gets beamed by Illy's MP5.
And this reminds you of the first rotation. Just right off the start of the game, Chicago knows exactly what they want going into that second hill, into depot. They're controlling the side. They're trying to force Dallas through train tracks, and it's just so tough to flip these spawns. You at least have to try to get some time, at least bring that deficit down as much as possible. You know Chicago's going to have the early setup at the second hill, so just try to get as much scrap time as you can.
Yeah, they got smoked here last time, right?
Yep.
It's minecart that they really answered back. I think if they can clean up this hard point again, find success at 3rd, They've got a chance to see their first lead since, what, the very beginning of the game? If they even had one then, it's just been all Empire. But, all Huntsmen, but Empire have done enough to keep it close. They've kept it in striking distance, but now they'll look to surge through for the break. Shotzzy gets in, can't take the second with him. It's Gunless and Arsity that are going to cut down 3. A team kill does come through for Huntsmen, but they're able to hold that first wave. But you can see how close the spawns are in Modern Warfare. Like in Hardpoint, you're spawning like 10 feet out. The next challenge is coming in almost instantly.
Yeah, Chicago wants to try to get as far out as they can, but with those close spawns, it's just so tough. They're already there right in your face. You can see at the top of the mini-map, that's going to be Envoy. He's already rotating towards Minecart, and this is very similar to what we saw in that first rotation. The only difference for Dallas is they got the scrap time. They fought for it the first time, they weren't able to get it. This time, they're able to get it.
That early rotation from Envoy is going to pay off, though. He gets there first. Shotzzy not ready for it. And he takes one down, but it's Illy tucked away in a pocket that might have a chance to make the play. Envoy does get 2 before he falls, but now a chance for a pinch attack due to Illy's position and the fact they have vent control. 30 points now separating these two teams as Empire looks to bust through. 3 are going to drop from Huntsmen. It's Illy again.
It's
at
Illy
this point that goes huge.
Yeah, I mean, Illy stays alive, but Hook was inside vent room. He's able to pinch and get 2 kills, so that cut off Chicago. They spawn a little bit further. Illy stays alive. His teammates spawn on him. A nice play from Dallas, but they're not able to hold. Chicago, they're going to get in the hill.
That's those close spawns. Like, you feel like it's such a great play. It's like 4 down. They lose the hardpoint 5 seconds later. It's ludicrous the number of waves sometimes you need to hold on some of these key hard points. But one of the biggest leads we've seen for Huntsmen now is we'll take a quick look at the scoreboard. +9 is Scump as he's leading the slaying way for Huntsmen. It's Gunless right there with him. On the other side, nobody really taking over the game from Empire. If they're going to come back, somebody's got to do it down the stretch.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you and I sort of talked about what's the key for Dallas, and you just have to think this map 1 is so important. The confidence is there for Chicago. Scump's already on 30 kills. Gunless is on 30 kills. When it comes to the respawns, Dallas just has to feel like they can compete with these guys, especially Illy and Shotzzy, and right now, I just don't know if they have that confidence in each other.
And you mentioned Scump's big stat line. He also has, 90 seconds in the hard point to go with that, so he's really leading it in every capacity. Biggest lead still for the Huntsmen and growing with 25 seconds still on the hard point. Scump takes 1 before he drops. Advantage 70, 25 more points needed as Gunless making it rain.
And they're at this point where they can fight for this scrap time. It's great for Dallas that you have the next hill that you're set up at Warehouse, but it doesn't matter because Chicago's just going to play around scrap time. Just hill after hill. It has to be perfect from here on out for Dallas. It's just such a large deficit. I just don't know what can happen. And on top of that, Chicago, they win the rotation. They get 4, make it 5 as RC starting to heat on up. 3 in a row for him, and that's going to cut down Dallas. And map number 1 going to go the way of Huntsmen.
And we've chatted about the importance of like the multiple flex positions you have in this, and it's been all RCTs. All the talk over the past several years has been AR, AR, AR. But one of the things that stood out to us is second we started watching scrims was when the MP5 is in his hands. He's a playmaker there as well, and you saw it to close it out. They get the 99-point W. It was close throughout. Like Empire had about a 20-30 point game for most of it, but the final 2-3 hard points, just everything goes the way of Huntsmen. You see why they're such a strong hard point team, strong domination team. The respawns with that amount of slaying power on the squad, who the hell's going to slow them down outside of maybe FaZe?
Yeah, I think there's really one play that changes things for me. I mean, that second hill just controlled time and time again by Chicago, but the rotation over to Minecart that Envoy was able to do, that keeps them in the game. The first rotation, Dallas, they won Minecart. That's how they keep it at a 10-point game. As soon as they go back-to-back at second and third, Chicago, that blows the game wide open.
Well, we are going to take a look at the scuff play of the game, though. You heard the crowd getting loud for Gunless's 2-piece. He made the play, and this is when they really pulled away with the game. You see the 70-point advantage here, and Gunless goes huge out towards containers, and these kills kind of open up the map for them on the bottom side, and part of the reason they're able to get for Warehouse in the next set of rotations. So big plays from Gunless. Scump was a madman in and around the objective and also in the slaying column. We saw what I think we expected from Huntsmen, but right now in this particular matchup, they still own it.
Yeah, and again, it's just that confidence thing, especially for the young guys. I mean, it is tough to play against the crowd. It is tough to play against guys like Scump, guys like Formal, T2P. If you continuously go down in the series, it's hard to get yourself back up.
Absolutely.
The good thing for them, I mean, we're going to be talking about that search and destroy. S&D for Dallas, they look great at Minnesota.
Well, speaking of S&D, let's talk a bit about our map, too, as we take a look at the maps and modes presented by the U.S. Air Force. Started off on Gunrunner, going to Piccadilly next. You just saw that in our previous series, and last time I watched this, at least from Huntsmen, it was the sniper of Formal that really stood out. He had like a 4-round stretch where I think he had 7 or so kills, just dominant within that one. And you get off of Arcloth, in which you got smoked the last time you played it. So a different look, and now I guess we get to see all this talk about Huntsmen, how much are they going to improve in search? But before we get into the map too, it's the quick scope, also presented by U.S. Air Force. And one thing that stands out instantly, really that top scoreline too with the CDL points. You've already got 30 on the board for Huntsmen, the first points earned from Empire earlier today.
Yeah, both of them able to win their first games, but Chicago, they go 2-0 in that Minnesota weekend. I mean, but you saw the respawn KD. It was 0.93 for Dallas, 1.13 for Chicago. Just so consistent across the board. But yeah, I mean, when we were taking a look at those maps, you saw a couple of changes between their first series. No cave hardpoint, right, which was great for Chicago. Instead, Dallas vetoes that. They're going to play Petro map 4, and then as you talked about with Search and Destroy, you got rid of Arcloth Peak. What's the response? It's Piccadilly. It's Formal Sniper. We saw it against Optic Gaming LA in Minnesota.
And I think regardless of map right now for Search, we likely give the edge to Empire. We know how much work they've been putting into it early in the title. I guess I'd like to know from your experience as a pro for all these years. Yes, okay, we've heard they put the focus in their first set of scrims has been mostly Search prep over the past, week and a half. How much improvement can you make in a week and a half?
A lot, right? Especially if you consider the fact that they played very little going into Minnesota. A week or two is a very big deal, especially if they knew the way that some of the vetoes were going to work. They can focus on a map like Piccadilly. And even if they didn't have a lot of Search and Destroy prep, they still looked great on this map in Minnesota against Optics. So things are, I think, very strong for Chicago.
Were you at all worried about a letdown on the side of Huntsmen, maybe from like an energy standpoint, in the sense of there was obviously some extra fuel in that first matchup? Scump wanted to come out and throttle Krem. You saw the interview afterwards. You saw him on the desk. He obviously wanted to smoke him. They got that win. Were you expecting any kind of slowdown whatsoever?
No, they want to do it every single time they play each other.
So that's the thing that's all year.
Every single time they play each other, they want to put them in the dirt. And even for Chicago, you start off with a rival here this weekend against the LA Gorillas, right, versus Aches. Yeah, there's already some bad blood there. The energy is flowing for these guys day one.
They're having fun. Can they keep it going throughout the rest of this weekend and maybe be crowned our first event champions for the CDL 2020 season? But it's Piccadilly Search and Destroy time. The snipers obviously going to be a huge focal point, but you saw in that last series, man, those MP5 players can get pushed up. You saw Jerd wreaking havoc once you can get in position. The difficulty sometimes is just getting into position on this map.
Getting started, right? The reason London had such a slow start is because your sub players are getting picked by snipers. So we'll see. This was Formal spot all game long when we watched him in Minnesota. Just so difficult to deal with it.
Well, it's an absurd bit of cover, right?
Yeah, well, just kidding.
Yeah, not covering his forehead, apparently, as Illy takes it off and Formal gets jettisoned around 2. We'll get right over to Illy's POV. Couldn't find anything, so it's over to Clayster. Clayster takes one down. The re-challenge comes in. Maybe don't have to challenge that, but he's feeling himself and gets dropped. 3 versus 3 now with 90 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Krim, he's able to find one on Envoy. Still a lot of time to work with. They're going to pick up that bomb. Just which site do they want to work? You have to play together. Hook, he's going to avoid all the danger. There was a player mid-buses. That's going to be Scump. He's just waiting to pounce. I think he's going to be the playmaker for Chicago.
Well, weren't they the two that had like big clutches on this map last time in Minnesota? Like Scump had a bunch of clutches. Yeah. They had a 2v4, they had a 2v3, in which Scump went massive, and there it is again. To turn it into a 2v2, it's Scump that's able to get it done. On the flank though, and with the shots is Illy. I like the patience there, the trigger discipline to make sure you get the final shot in. Arcity's last up, Arcity's cut down. Round 1 to Dallas.
And I like what we saw early on from Dallas. First, Illy's able to find that first blood, and immediately what happens is Chicago has to respond in some way, taking map position, and then that's when Clayster comes out towards that A side, right? Because Chicago, what they're trying to do is get those bus controls, really just sort of choke them out with that retake. Clayster knows that. A great job by Dallas early on, and yeah, behind Illy's patience with that sniper. A nice round from him.
Well, I thought that's one of those situations where you miss a couple shots with the pistol and maybe you get
It's
world
scary,
starred.
yeah.
So I like he takes the second, make sure he hits that final bullet.
You only need 2.
Smoke out towards scaffolding as Huntsmen begin to layer the map. Heavy pressure towards B early, but you got Illy on the steps. But Formal this time to hits the first blood. And Illy's going to get backed up almost instantly, so no eyes on the cross for a moment. That allows Gunless to now get through.
Dallas has a double sniper setup, so Hook's able to take down Formal. So Illy and Hook both sniping on defense. We'll have to watch to see if that continues throughout this map. Bomb being planted towards B. You have the man advantage now as Shotzi's able to take down Gunless 4 versus 3. But it's tough to retake with 2 snipers, but the bomb not finished. You see at the top how close it is to being done.
Clayster, nice pick, 4v2. Scump again going to try to make the play when the odds are not with Huntsmen. Illy just looking for any kind of angle through the window. You can see bomb carrier right outside to his left. Plant now going down. Scump trying to get it down. Him and Arcees in another tough situation. Can they come up with a clutch this time? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Arcees falls, but Scump now with an opportunity for the 1v3. Has to play defense now for approximately 30 seconds. Nice shot, backs one up, just gets away with his life. The reach out comes in, and Clayster able to take him down. Scump almost enough for the clutch, but another big play from Empire, and Clay goes huge.
Yeah, Shotzi, I mean, almost gets a little too, puts himself out there a little bit too much. One more bullet. Scump would have loved to have that kill to force a 1v1, but Shotzi, he plays it smart. He waits for his teammate as Clay's just turning this corner. He holds off this. He jumps off the bus. They double challenge, a nice round again. We'll have to see if Dallas continues that double sniper setup. That was really the key, is who's able to bring it back. Now Chicago back on defense. We'll see if they're able to tie things up or to get back in this game. It's Clayster a nice start, 4-1, leading the way for Dallas.
Mix it up this time. Aggression towards A. Illy spots him for just a second, but the slide across gets him to safety. That's a quick plant from Dallas as they look to secure a 3-0 round count advantage. Now, how do Huntsmen opt the retake? Because you've got to go. Gunless, head rip clean off. Crim6 and company in power positions across the map, but Arcedy's at least able to bring it to a 4 versus 4. The problem, just no time. They've got to go. 3 versus 3. Can they even get there in time as Hook's got the angle on the bomb?
And when you have this double sniper setup, it's just going to be so hard to defuse. Hook just trying to play his life. He's the last one left now. He knows the time. He only has to kill 1. That's going to be the play. That should do it. He knows it as well. They're able to get the bomb down. They execute so fast. And, well, with that double sniper setup, Chicago just can't get it done.
And you saw some nice trigger discipline there again. Just doesn't take the shot from scaffolding at the first player. Knows all he has to do is get 1 clean peek on the bomb. I think it was Envoy that was in his sights. Obviously, that's the right play, the smart play. But some players, might just take the shot, end up blundering it.
Yeah, he misses there, and Envoy's going to easily clean him up. They'll wall bang him through. Now this is starting to remind us a lot of what we saw in Minnesota. Formal, though, able to find first blood on the Shotzi. You still have double snipes out for Dallas. Illy able to bring it back, so now a 4v4. Jump very aggressive towards B. I don't know if they know he's there already. Well, now they do.
They certainly do now as Illy drops. Scump now 6-2. But he's got as many kills as the rest of his teammates combined. Somebody's got to help him if they're going to get any rounds going. Scump should have another one. That's a tough peek from Crim6. Scump 7th in the game. And what feels like a round advantage for the first time throughout the course of this map. Look at bomb planted. Hook's going to put a Simtex at his feet and blow himself to the sky. Don't see that all that often.
Not typically we see, in the past, people, jumping off the map, going out of bounds. It's difficult to do in this game.
Yeah, not just blowing your legs off with the Simtex, but same end goal, right? Finally, a round for Huntsmen. Can they string together two? This time they'll need to do it defensively. Back to this spot. Does Illy have his number again? First blood for Arcides.
Look at the aggression, though, from Dallas. They just go right up the middle of the map. Hook. Him and Shotzi were able to work those buses. Now you can see Hook's position. He's in a spot. Arcides, can he finish the kill? This is be a second of the round. But Arcides able to finish. And win that one-on-one.
And during this, Scump has now got 5 in a row as he is taking over map 2. That's why you don't chase kills, because sometimes you get destroyed.
Well, hopefully when he's that one shot, you do chase and you get the kill.
But when you don't, it doesn't look good, Joe.
No, it doesn't.
No clutch for Empire as Huntsmen go back-to-back, bring it within a round.
And now 2 rounds in a row. And you saw the switch up from Dallas, which you do like to see. They were sniping so much. They had 2 snipers time and time again. Hook, Shotzi, they get aggressive inside the buses, and they had the opportunity to get the advantage in the round, but RC goes big.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just cambered him there or just heard him sprinting over and pre-fired him, but from Hook's POV, it just looked like he didn't have a chance, man. Envoy doesn't have a kill yet, looking to get going. He got 1 for Gunless. We said someone had to help Scump, and it's been Arcides. I think he had 2 kills 2 rounds ago. He's gotten 5 over this stretch. Envoy there now on the board. Arcides, 5 in a row. You saw it from Scump, now from Arcides. I think both of them currently on 5 streaks, and the reason they've won back-to-back rounds. Formal. Yet to spot anything.
And this is when you would just love to get a bomb down, right, if you are Chicago, because you do have the double sniper set up once again from Dallas.
Don't do it, yikes!
That was a quick one.
That's a haircut!
But it's so difficult to retake bombs when you have 2 snipers. That's basically 2 players who have to use pistols. Formal trying to get out of the bus, he gets caught. Just taking their time, working towards B site, but someone's playing very sneaky. That's Shotzi, who's behind that barricade. You see, on the mini-map, he's just prone through X-ray. He's gonna be the player at B, and Scump finds him.
Yeah, super sneaky.
It's a common spot.
Yes, he gets naded out, and the numbers go with Huntsmen, 3 in a row now. Have you seen anything you've liked behind these round wins? Like, are you seeing some improvement here? Are they adapting to what they're seeing from Empire?
Yeah, I think they're avoiding those snipers, right? It was just time and time again where it was Illy and Hook constantly in the kill feed. They're just taking advantage, and once again, it's Scump and Arcides. When you talk about repetitions in search and destroy, it's what we just saw Scump do. He knows that there's a spot that they have to clear out. He keeps his nade. He's able to find the kill on Shotzi.
The smoke they go. RC is going to connect with the stun and sets up Scump perfectly. They've been the duo dominating. Kill for Scump, kill for Arcides. They are picking apart Empire over the last 4 rounds. The question was how are they going to answer the double sniper setup. Now the question for Empire, how the hell are you going to slow down Scump and Arcides? As this is just a ludicrous stretch. 4v2. They're so pushed up on A.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows. Crim's already at cross. You see, he's watching the cross towards the B side, but Crim already made it through. Illy was able to find 1 on Scump, so he's able to make this a 2v3. A lot of time to work with, but they do not have the bomb. See if Crim can make the play. Pops did silence. Now's his time to go. Doesn't want to open any doors.
Should have been 3-1. There it is, 2 versus 2 now. It was a 2v4 for Empire.
Envoy's trying to find him. He's trying to find him.
Both players with dead silence pop, but that's going to be another. Crim's able to take down Envoy. Just doing laps right behind him now from a 2v4. It's Envoy trying to clutch a 1v2. I'm sorry, they had a 4v2, and he's trying to clutch a 1v2. Illy will be able to pick up the bomb. He got spotted though. Nice shots, 1 versus 1. Envoy versus Crim 6.
I like this. Repositions, takes the time. He knows Crim has to plant. You just play around the door. He can just check bomb, play around the door. He'll hear him.
I don't know how you lose this round if you're Envoy.
I don't think he does. I don't
Now
know if Sherm got there. I don't know if he got there. It's going to be close.
Oh my God, he gets it off. Can he get away with his life? Oh, no, no, no! That is just not a round you can lose. It's Crimsix that makes the play. He gets the play with what, 0.01 on the clock?
I thought he was going to check the bomb.
Pre-aims the window and smokes him. What a round from Crimsix.
I thought he was going to check the bomb at least once.
That's a 2v4 clutch, a 1v1 clutch, a Crimsix on your forehead clutch. Holy hell.
And that was a big round for Crim because he was 1-6 going into round 7. So we pointed him out. He got through the cross that Envoy was watching. He pops dead silence. He makes the play. A bad nade from Illy, but can he make it up with a snipe? Just misses. But a big round for Dallas to keep them back in this one. I mean, losing 4 in a row, you needed your leader to step up, and he does.
What a moment from Crim, but still need 2 more rounds to close this out. First blood from Gunless, a big one from him, as that's his 2nd kill. And we're 8 rounds deep. But the Arcity scump show for the Huntsmen, can it continue? Arcity's POV now as he's working up towards this A site. That's a rough timing there. Yeah, you get the mantle up, and then Hook meets him with the MP5. Looked on target, but just barely a miss from Formal. Gunless with a 2nd in this round. 3 versus 3. Hook gives Empire the numbers. Formal looking for some kind of angle. Gets him behind, able to hit the shots. 2 versus 2. 45 seconds on the clock. Bomb in the hands of Huntsmen.
Yeah, they're sort of flipping the map. You see those gold arrows, they go the other way. Formal, what's he going to do with this bomb? What do they decide to do? Illy, he knows where they're going to come from, towards that bookstore. You have a one-on-one going towards the middle of the map. That's Crim, that's Envoy. He's going to back on up now. Now it looks like they're going to go towards B. Yeah, he hits the shot, and that's bomb down.
Can Crim do it again? He'll find the kill, but it's Illy. Illy that does it, hits both snipes. Looking over the bomb site, and all the momentum that you had from the 3 rounds in a row from Huntsmen just gets silenced by Illy's sniper. They have the 1-on-1 clutch for Crim, the 2-on-2 clutch behind Illy, and another round to Empire.
And again, when they won those 3 rounds in a row, they minimized the sniper, right? You didn't see Illy, you didn't see Hook getting a lot of those snipe kills, but the last 2, those have absolutely helped keep them in the rounds.
Can they do 3 in a row again? Because they're going to have to. Hook gets dropped in the early moments of the round. Advantage to Huntsman. Envoy doing work now. Gets you even at 5-5, just dominates the boss part of the map. That's 3 in a row. Now Envoy working on the ace in this one.
He's out.
He might get another. There's the challenge.
He's going for the ace. He's going for the ace.
4 for Envoy in the round, but it's Arcities who takes the final Empire player down, and Chicago still alive.
Yeah, I mean, that's just you pop dead silence, you hit a timing, and you continue to make plays. Envoy knows that the dead silence is going to reset. He's got a lot of time to work with. A beautiful play by him, but can they win an offense? These offensive rounds just so difficult. But Envoy able to keep them alive.
Round by round, they work to get this 2-0 series edge. Sniper put away for Formal. Tactical and nades out. RC's just looking for anything with this angle under the bus. Envoy has been on a tear, and he keeps it going. 5 in a row. You get a 5 streak for him, for Scump, for Arcities. These individual moments where the Huntsman players are taking over the map. It's Envoy's turn now. Big advantage, 5 versus 2, 5 versus 1. Hook left alone. Hook drops. It's round 11 here in map 2.
Man, if you take a look at this scoreboard, I mean, if I showed you these numbers, you'd think Chicago would have won like 6-3, 6-4. It's just been so scrappy, and the rounds that they have won have been dominant. Then you look at the side of Dallas, it's come down to a couple of clutches, right? The time really working against Chicago. But because of all the kills, it's going to be Dallas on the attack, which, see if they can win this and tie up the series 1-1, or Chicago, they're going to go up 2-0.
Yeah, I think they have like 10 more kills.
Yeah.
The all-important round 11. Can Empire even the series? Or the Huntsmen take control? It's Clayster with a huge first blood, but Formal answers right back. The pressure on Empire to open up a site, but still a ton of time to go.
I mean, they have a lot of position towards the A side. You have Gunless, who's sort of watching that site. Still a lot of time to work with, 1:20.
Here they go. Multiple players pushing on mid-bus. The pressure now to Scump. He's going to stun out and back out. Reposition. You had Dead Silence dropped on, I think, 2 or 3 players of Empire. As they now wrap it right back to A, as they couldn't find the look they wanted through the mid-buses. Bomb planted down in the 4 versus 4. Here we go. Scump behind the car, able to get a kill as Illy drops. Gunless knows he's got one there, but the smoke is going to come out. Gunless gets some damage in, but can't get the kill. It's Envoy that's going to soar on through, and he's just going to hop it. He's just going to hop it. He's just going to hop it. And that could be it. Envoy's on the bomb, and that's the round. Envoy with the defuse, everybody down, and it's 3 rounds in a row as Huntsmen close it out. Now up 2-0. They did it in flurries, Joe. What? They go down 0-3, rip off 3 in a row. They go down 5-3, rip off 3 in a row. When they were hot, they were hot.
Yeah, now we were on Clay's point of view. If he gets that kill, that was Scump throwing the grenade. That grenade lands on Illy, blows him up. That gives them a 3 versus 4. They have this smoke tactical to retake the site. They do a beautiful job. And now, really, the question is, what is the confidence like on the Dallas side? Chicago up 2-0, feeling good.
Huntsmen firmly in control of this series. It'll be domination coming up next for map 3. But for now, we head to a quick break.
Metro by T-Mobile. Complete your mission with the best deal in wireless.
Continue to control this rivalry early in the COD League, now up 2-0. They seem to have improved in Search and Destroy. They look very, very scary, but now what can Empire do? Because I believe we had the same exact Dom they played the first time through it. Empire looked so good in Dom heading into Minnesota. They got smoked. They lost, what, 60 points on Hackney, I believe it was. They looked all disjointed. We talked about the changes to the mode coming into it. Now you don't have that excuse. Now you've got the chance to improve.
Yeah, hopefully they have improved, right? Because, I mean...
I love you!
Yeah, well, they love me more. But anyways...
Yeah, why isn't there a Shut Up Joe chant?
That'd be rude.
Shut up, Joe. That didn't sound good. I am. That's true. That's true. But let's take a look at the Army tactical play as we get ready for the third map. And this is going to be the final moments around 11.
Yeah, that was the moment right there. Scump, his grenades, and it's, you know, connect on the Elite from there. It's a 4 versus 3. They used their numbers. They had the smoke tactical. It was beautifully played. I mean, Dallas was in a position to win this game. They're able to get that bomb down. We know how tough it can be to retake. But it starts with Scump, it ends with Gunless, and, well, Envoy on that bomb.
I just loved it. Envoy saw the smokes. He's like, I'm on this. He got the kill. He hopped it. But the reason they were in the game, the duo that brought them back when they were down 0-3 was Scump and Arcitys, 12-5 and 13-6 respectively. They were dominant. Not a lot of first bloods to go with it, but in the mid-game, they were just taking over. And you saw what the 5+ sprees you got from both of them. And then the late game, it was Envoy, man. He was, what, 2-7, 2-6 at one point?
It almost felt like they just let him off the leash, right? You're down 5-3, and it's just
thing.
sort of like, screw it, guys. Like, I'm going to go make a play. He pops dead silence. That's when he gets almost that ace play. He's able to find 4, and just after that, he played so aggressive near the middle of the map. It was a great job by Envoy, but just the entire team.
Okay, well, back to the Dom. I know we took a look at the Search and Destroy, but back to the Dom. Did you see something other than Shotzi getting obliterated, because he was like 7 and 400, did you see something from that map 3 on Hackney that they needed to really improve, or is it as simple as that?
I mean, it's just when you're spawning on that AB side, you have to be able to control it, and I feel like you just have to have a good first half if you're Dallas Empire. Again, to me, it's very similar to map 1, where the confidence has to get under their shoes, right? They have to feel like they're a part of this game. They're in it. Right now, it just doesn't feel like that. And if you have a big lead, if you have a big first half, that's when things can change.
I do have one more question about the Search, though.
Sure.
Did you learn something about Huntsmen being able to come back in that after they lost that 2v4 and Krim had the 1v1? That's a pretty big comeback, man.
I mean, we saw them rip off 3 rounds in a row, and it's one of those things where you just sit next to each other. It's like, we already did it. Let's just do it again.
Okay. I just thought after that round, I thought that was a dagger, man. That one from Krim. But let's get into the Dom. Huntsmen up 2-0, looking for the hot sweep. If they can finish it here, starting on the preferred side of the map is going to be Empire. What kind of lead can they get early in the game? How much will Huntsmen invest into trying to get the flip early?
I mean, you just want to see Dallas really control this game early on. But right away, it's going to be Gunless, it's going to be Formal. They're already starting to assault on towards A. There's going to be 2 players here. There's 1 player from Dallas. He's going to have a lot to work with. He gets shut down, and that's exactly what you didn't want to see if you were a Dallas fan. Scump, he's going to capture this A point. He has some people to work with, but here comes the push from Dallas. Maybe to get it back, but Gunless almost lines up the 3rd.
Great play from Huntsmen. Answered by a great retake from Empire to get back in control of A. But I love what you saw from Huntsmen. They're like, okay, go ahead and attack B. Then they had 2 people pre-aimed at the back door. So Empire comes scrambling out to try and get back to A and just get chopped down. But when the dust settles, a minute in, Empire is still in control with the retake. Yep.
It's a big retake, and now you have some map position as well. As 4 kills come in. Placed her inside of B. You have 1 player working outside of L. Towards the middle of the map, that's going to be Hoot. The other 2 making sure the push towards top A doesn't come in. But Chicago, they're headed towards the B side. A few one-on-ones going down. Shotzi talked about how, well, his dreadful performance in Minnesota. He's on 3 in a row. Hook as well on 3 in a row.
Almost more kills than his last 12 minutes against them on this map. But it's Chicago that are up 2-0, but currently only have 1 flag battling for that mid-map control. I'm going to go right to an Astro Gaming listen-in with the Huntsmen.
Kyler's standing in the door. Kyler's standing in the door.
Wait. Play for B. Play for B.
We're dead.
We're not playing for A. We're
playing B. We're playing B.
It can be stun outdoors. Tuppy C dead. Tuppy C dead. Got him.
Top L. Bottom L. Crim. He's pitching middle. Bottom L. Bottom L. Bottom L.
Kill me, cop out.
One is Crim's in up. Crim's in B.
I think hop. Fire shots. I spawned left. We can know you.
Fire. Door dead. Fire. Right? Yeah, fire. Cop.
Cop and fire.
Nice. You're dropping up. 20 wings. Go.
B.
They're gonna be green behind you, Pierce. They're gonna be green behind you, Pierce. We just go to B, guys.
I'm bottom with you. Go top, guys. Go top.
Jump across.
We got one hit. Top
Wait for B. I spawned.
Hut, guys, hut. He's pushed our side.
Yeah, one's a B.
Green spawns, guys. Green. Never mind.
I'm owing.
Bottom L, Kyler.
Right back into it we go. 17-point advantage for Empire, but it's Envoy's POV as he's looking for the break top L.
You have one player on A right now. Gunless got all the way through. The neutral's going to get done. Now, how does Dallas respond? You at least have that 20-point lead. Half of this round is done with 3 minutes off the clock, but Chicago able to secure A. Now, what do you want to do here if you are Dallas? Clayster with a nice 2 kills.
What do you think it's like if you start on A side, if you're on that coalition side, that's where you start. What's like the comfortable lead? What are you looking for through the first half?
I would say 20 points. I think it's solid 20 to 30 points. I mean, you would love more, but that's 2 to 3 minutes. And I think at this point, you should be good enough to at least hit some neutrals on A on your next side.
And you think anything under that's when it gets a little bit scary?
Very scary.
Okay.
Yeah, very scary. Because at that point, then, when they get a lead on the next side, they can play around 2 flags. They can continue to neutral your homes as well. We saw it done just time and time again, where you're basically just wasting the clock. So, yeah, you want a 20 to 30-point lead, I would say, at a minimum.
Well, the best thing from Empire has been every time they've lost A or it's been neutral, they've been able to really retake it very, very well, efficiently and quickly. But pressure here once again from Huntsmen. That's a 3-man, about to be a 4-man push coming in. The one remaining guy still back there is going to be Clayster, who has his work cut out for him. Just trying to play his life. But he is going off right now. Clayster going huge at 14-6. Clayster's still back there. He has a chance to win another one-on-one. He'll finally drop, but the streak at 7 and the hold on C was enough for his teammate to get back in, win his one-on-one, so Clayster did his job. He gets 1 key kill, gets another weak, or at least holds enough for a player to come in and assist.
Yeah, now Hoosh just trying to stay alive back there. He's going to have some help from his teammates. Shotzzy, can he win this? The stun's going to come through. Nice play from the King. He's able to get 2 kills. He's able to lock down B. They capture C as well, and this could be dangerous for Huntsmen. The neutral comes in. A lot of points could come their way if they're able to keep them off of it.
Yeah, and even though, we mentioned the retakes from Empire happening very efficiently, those neutrals are still big, right? That quick take coming in
Wasting
from Huntsmen,
time.
the quick neutral. I mean, it might be a difference of, 10, 15 points, but when you're talking about 20 to 30 being the big difference going into half, that surely adds up. And that lead we saw, that 20, 25-point lead now gone. It's just an 8-point advantage for Empire with 60 seconds remaining. So this is a big final 60 seconds. It's a chance to approach that threshold you talked about, or a chance for this maybe to be a tie game or a Huntsman lead.
I would love to see Dallas now with a minute left, maybe to take some more risks, right? Just get some pressure towards the C side. Just at least try to get a neutral for, 10, 15 seconds if possible. But Formal, Gunless, they're able to find kills. And behind that, they're going to try to get into B, but Krim behind his double will slow things down. There's still a chance for them to get pushed up, but it just feels like the trade's just going back and forth, just allowing no room for either team so far.
And we can't not talk about it, but a much more balanced effort from Empire. It's tough to win maps against a team like Huntsman with the performance that Shotzzy had the first time. This time, right around even, and they're performing. The lead going to be right around 20 points as the final seconds tick off. Hovering right around the threshold you mentioned.
Still
question, will it be enough? It's 19 points?
19 points. I mean, Chicago,
you said 20.
I feel like they did a solid job. I mean, there was just consistent pressure towards A. They neutraled it a few times. They almost got the flip that they wanted. Dallas able to retake it. But when we saw this in Minnesota, what Chicago was able to do when they had the A-B set up, they were able to get that 3 cap. They were being annoying towards C. They put them in the trap. We'll see if Chicago can do that here and close the series out.
Maybe took more risks than you saw from Dallas, you're saying? These opening moments, though, so crucial for the entirety of this best of 5. A car almost takes 2 with it. But Formal holding from back, Brick gets the headshot into Shotzi. AB controls. You saw the game plan a little bit different from Empire. They want to flood everybody through green, try to get to A instantly. Formal made it difficult from his power position at the back brick.
Yeah, Chicago just did it a different way. They sent 2 players right up the middle, and there it is already. The neutral's already at C. This is what I was talking about. They played much more aggro as Envoy's able to get that neutral. But now Dallas, they have 2 players at this A flag.
And there's the neutral at B as well. So a good answer in a scary spot once again from Empire. And a big part of why they had that lead. Shotzi, a huge job in and around B, and that's the flip. Empire.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play too aggro and you don't get the kills. Envoy was able to hit his one-on-one towards C, but basically everybody else goes down. So the spawns flip. Now Dallas in a comfortable setup once again.
And you've got Illy just pushed up towards bottom L. Almost a triple. But now you gotta think about how you want to play this if you're Huntsmen. Do you keep on flooding B for the neutral? Do you try to slip 1 or 2 through to A and disrupt that home spawn of Empire? They got all the kills mid. Yeah, they got all the kills mid. They're gonna do both at the same time. Okay, so I asked which they were gonna do. Basically both happened, and that's what happens when you go 5 down. That's a scary moment there for Empire.
Yeah, Chicago, they just get so far pushed up behind those 5 kills. They're trying to secure A. You see Dallas, they're trying to get pushed up middle. Clay now the last one left.
That is one of the cleaner flips and takes of B you're gonna see on a map like Hackney. That just happened in 5 seconds, and the whole thing flipped on its head.
Now you're just sort of playing around the clock, I feel like, if you're Dallas. A 20-point lead, that's about 2 minutes with a very clean 2-cap for Chicago. So can you get some neutrals at B? Behind that, can you get some pressure at A? We saw them flip once. Can they do it again? And maybe if you're Chicago, because your aggression didn't pay off, maybe you don't do that.
Well, Scop, a really solid job holding them off at B, and you can see the defensive setup they have from Huntsmen. They've got 2 sort of locking down that overextension towards green. They're now wrapping back to get in. They have to. All 3 of their teammates dropped into B, so here come the reinforcements. It's Formal and Arcees that are going to try and get in and stop the neutral. The neutral does go through. And it's a big one, and the flip comes in at the same time. It spawns still a little bit messy. You're spawning kind of towards mid-map right now. If you're Chicago, what are they going to have to do? They can't track back to C. They're in the process of losing A. The 3-cap about to go through, and this might be Empire's map. It seems like they tried to do multiple things there off spawn. There wasn't just like a concerted effort, like, hey, let's push back to C together, let's push back to A. Everyone just kind of scrambled, and you saw how weird the spawn was. They spawned, what, 2? Looked like they spawned like outside green, 2 back towards like the blue bus. They were all over the place. That's 5 down for Empires. They're smoking Huntsmen now.
And when you're sort of spawning in the middle of the map, what you probably want to do is try to take A, but if that fails and if that doesn't work, you lose. I mean, how many points got taken off the board for Chicago? So then they spawn up there like, all right, we need something. That's when you go to C, but now you're down just so many points throughout this. So a great job by Dallas, and finally a comfortable lead for them. Up 39 points, so already Chicago gonna at least have to 2-cap with a neutral.
Well, I think just within these 2 series they've played each other between Minnesota and London, you see Huntsmen improve and search and destroy. I know it's not the same map, obviously. We saw Arklov go 6-1 to Empire the first time, but this is a straight-up rematch. Empire get blown out by 50. Now a chance to win by even more is a 3-cap coming in. Empire improved massively in the domination. It looked like they're going to stay alive in this best of 5.
Yeah, ridiculous movement right there by Shotzi as he's able to defend B.
Who is it that was telling us he like focuses more on his movement than his shot? Like,
oh yeah, he just loves sliding around. Yeah. But this is that time where, yeah, you can just play around one flag. You can play around neutrals. That's exactly what Dallas is doing. They're playing around the clock. That is Chicago's biggest opponent right now.
Do you think the biggest moment of this is just that opening 30 seconds with the flip from Empire?
Well, the second time they were able to do it, because Chicago got that one back. So yeah, the second time that turns into the 3-cap, that is the key moment throughout this map.
Well, yeah, that's where the big lead came behind, right? It's wild how quickly a 3-cap can make a close game not look very close.
But I mean, we talked about it. This is big now for Dallas. It just felt like you couldn't beat these guys no matter what. You go up 5-3 in the search and destroy, you lose 3 rounds in a row. The respawns at Minnesota, they were dreadful. That first hard point, Chicago dominated. You finally win something against what feels like their kryptonite. And maybe that just gives them some life headed into map 4.
Just a respawn, right? Like proving to yourselves you can take a respawn. Okay, they chain together 2 and take the hard point, get us to a map 5. I'd love another search and destroy after how that game 2 went. What is it? It's Petro for map 4?
Yeah, I was talking to Krim too. He said that's the one we've been keeping in the back pocket, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see a lot of it in Minnesota.
I
right?
feel like that's just what happens, right? The vetoes at Minnesota, we saw so much cave. Just time and time again, map 1, that was it because people didn't want to pick the Hackney, and I don't think they were too comfortable on Petro. So what happens is you're like, somewhere we have to change our veto process. Petro is just that map that starts to pop up more often.
And I feel like Azir Cave's just like the first one in the rotation of every scrim too. It's just like people feel comfortable on it, but that is a dominant win from Dallas, and it keeps them in this series, silences the Huntsmen fans in attendance because that game was over 3 minutes ago. That's why I know we weren't getting too amped, too hyped about the final moments because it wasn't close, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it was similar to what we saw in Minnesota. It was about a 50-point game. And again, for about 9 minutes, it was very back and forth. I thought Chicago did what they had to do on the first half. They kept it very close. But Dallas, they get that 3 cap. They're able to capitalize on top of it.
And I know a lot of talk with Dallas has been the young talent for obvious reasons, but Clayster's been awesome today. He had somewhere about like an overall like a 1.5 in the first series. He had a very, very good first series. He drops 32 and 19 there in the map 3.
Well, there was I think there was a tweet from him where he just said, like, my team just wants me to go positive 10 with an AR, right? Like, in a lot of the times what happens when you're a veteran time and time again, you've been around for forever, you've won, you sort of, I wouldn't say you get away from the basics, but you're trying to play the perfect team game. And what happens is the slang gets away from you. You focus on where you're at, where your positioning is, what your teammates are doing instead of just finding the kills on the map. And we saw Clayster do this at his champs performance, you know, years and years ago, where if he's just focused on slaying, he can do this as much as he wants.
And he's more familiar with it than maybe any player ever. As he's our oldest player in the pro league. He's like 28 now. Guy looks like he's going to compete forever. And well, I'll tell you what, a good run with this Empire team, and his career might have a big extension within it. But you saw the Huntsman guys kind of talking through that Dom. Things obviously don't go the way they do the first time through, but now the focus will shift to the Petro, as that'll be the first time we see these teams square off on that particular map and mode. But before we get into the map 4, we can take a look at the highlight that we saw from the Dom. Quick replay as they get loaded up and inside of it. Crim6 had a lot of moments over these last few maps. They couldn't close out the search and destroy, but helping his team go big in the Dom.
Yeah, it was just a great performance from a lot of different players on Dallas. You saw Krim, you saw Clay, Ilya a few times, Shotzi with the nice plays. Hook was just consistent throughout. And on the side of Chicago, I think when things got said and done, it was Envoy and Arcees who struggled a little bit. And, you know, Arcees was insane at Minnesota. And those were the two of the impact players that we just saw on that search and destroy. But they've just looked so darn comfortable on hardpoint as a team.
And you can just see the swings with these players within the game, because we talk, when we're mentioning hardpoint, we'll say, like, if you see somebody have a bad game, it's like, sometimes they just don't have their early rotations, right? You're just like headbutting the hardpoint over and over again. Like, the same can be said for Dom. Like, if you're going against that 2 cap at all times, you're going against people with a very fast time to kill in Modern Warfare that are set up in ADS and power positions. Like, it's not fun. It's very, very difficult. It comes down to your lethals and tacticals, your team shots, your comms, but you have those stretches where you just die 5 times in a row. It's like, I have a chance in these gunfights.
That's what happened to Shotzi, right? You know, in Minnesota, he goes like 7-30, whatever he does, but the first half he's stuck in a 3 cap, and then at that point, you're just trying to do whatever you can to get yourself back in the game. And typically what that is full sprinting into Chicago set up, trying to get on as many flags as you can. It's just difficult to come back in.
Okay, well, let's focus now going forward on the Petro. Anything for you in particular maybe stands out about this particular map and the pool for hardpoints?
I just think it's very similar to a lot of the different maps that we had. A lot of close spawns. You're able to, there's typically 2 spawns on these hard points you can control from the front. Of course, there's a good spawn, but there's a lot of different spawn traps that we've seen. This really stands out for like what we've seen in Atlanta, what they were able to do in Minnesota. So I'm sure, teams have been practicing quite a bit.
Well, I know Scump had a lot to say when they played in Minnesota. I think we've got a clip of him with the choke symbol, I believe, during the map too, as they go up big, go up 3-0, and you can see him on the other side in the top right, just let him know the choke came in. They let him rip off 3 straight. And you call it friendly banter, you call it whatever you want.
I'll call it a rivalry.
Yeah.
Again, they don't like each other. Yeah, they don't. Again, every single time that they play, that is what's going to happen. That's what's going to be on your screen.
Well, the difference this time, Empire gets 1 respawn win. But can they win a hard point? That's been something they have not been able to do. They've now won a Dom, they've won a Search and Destroy. The thing they haven't done is won a hard point. Can they? I know they've had a couple games that were 50 point range, but that's been sort of the tale of hardpoint just in this particular title. We haven't seen, think of over the past 3 years, all the 100-point clubs we've had. I don't think you're going to see many this year. I just don't think you're going to. Just the nature of the spawn system in this game, it's going to be hard to do.
I mean, map 1 was probably one of the bigger blowouts that we've seen throughout this year, right? The 250 to 150 that we saw Chicago able to do in this series. So
yeah, it's like 100 point wins the new 100-point club.
It's difficult to do. Throughout this weekend, there's been so many 250 to 200s. It's just so hard to get out to a big lead. And with the spawns, the way they're set up right now, it's hard to hold hills as much as you can.
It really is, Joe. It really, really is. To St. Petrograd we go. First time.
I thought you were going to call it what you usually call it.
St. Peter Griffin?
Yeah.
I saw somebody tweet it once. It was stuck in my head forever. Yeah. I thought for sure I'd accidentally let that slip at some point.
I thought you were about to right there.
Yeah, no, I almost did. I don't know who. It was like Nubsy or somebody tweeted that. It's just been in my head for months. Kleister's POV. As we rock into this map 4, the grenades connect. The first kill to Crim 6.
And I like what you saw from Clay off the start. He actually had extended mags on, so he had 60 bullets. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. I'm sure he'll switch. That's just for the start.
What do you want to do? Just shoot.
Yeah, it's just like Search and Destroy. I mean, they have to try to get through those big pillar areas and behind all the nades, behind all the shots.
That's a good pickup, Joe, because we don't talk too much about the attachments because there's not usually a ton of versatility, but this game, you would think have more, but everyone sort of finds their sweet spots and things they like. But that's pretty cool off the opening break from Clay.
Yeah, and Clay's always been one of the more unique players, right? As many advantages as he can. At Chicago, they know what they're trying to do as we set up for the second hill towards Cafe. That's going to be on the top right side of your mini-map. They don't get the time, but they get the spawn flip. We'll see. Can Chicago push on through and at least hold it?
Empire, really good job on the first hard point. Shotzi looking to make the play on the flank. I thought maybe a little bit too shaky at first with the re-challenge. Maybe a help from the light post as Arcees must have lit that up. That's 2 for Shotzi and opening hardpoint controller. Still one more player tucked in a corner there. Who's that? It's going to be, I think, Gunless that was tucked away, but it's just 1 kill for him before he falls. He had the entire team spawning on him from Empire.
And now the key here is, to get Formal out of top loop, because with Formal up there, he can watch the Dallas Empire spawn, and well, he has this control. So as long as Formal's up there, he's doing so much for his team. A nice break from Chicago. That could have been a big point for Dallas to have a big lead.
Just look at it on the minimap. You can see they have to cross this little road. Formal's just posted up with the AR in the top window. Finally, they're able to pick him out, but at this point, there's only 20 seconds remaining. So nice job by Formal and Huntsmen to get a good amount of time considering how that looked early in the hard point.
Yeah, that had to have happened because I think Dallas would have been up about 90-10 if that doesn't. I was going to give props for Dallas for the way they were really able to break the early setup, but they weren't able to hold it. And now as we rotate on Hazmat Chicago, they have the setup they want. They have early control.
Formal once again in this power position. Gets the nade out, which I thought might take a 3rd down, but he gets 2. Now that's the first step. The first win you need to get if you're Empire as you try to push in. The next one up is going to be the MP5 of Arcees, the MP5 of Gunless. as they look to hold it down. Gunless and Arsenes wipe them out. That's a triple from Gunless. Scumped in with the final kill, but where's that spawn? They get
That's
the
what
back.
they want. That's what they want, because look at Envoy's position. Look at number 9. Envoy's already rotated towards Pool Hall. This is exactly what Chicago wanted to do. They would have loved to got to scrap time and control them towards that back spawn the way they did it. Obviously, Dallas is going to have the close spawn. There's going to be more reinforcements, but they got majority of the time. They rotated to Pool Hall. That's exactly what Chicago wanted.
So they just want to open up the back there and hope they can get some kills behind it, though, and maybe contest. So not a flawless transition, but it gets you set up for Pool Hall. As you saw Envoy already posted up in a corner. Now look at this trek you have to do across the map. You're going to have to win multiple layers of fights if you're Empire. Nice shots out of Arsenes at range with that MP5. There's the first step, though. You kill everybody at mid-map. Now you can apply pressure to the hard point. Here they come. Envoy, he's been here for an hour, getting set up inside, but it's Illy that goes on the tear. I believe that's 4 in a row for Illy as he goes surging through before he falls into Pool Hall. Empire able to break in. The early setup for Huntsmen. Maybe not returning as much of an investment as they hoped for.
Yeah, I just feel like that first setup has to be better from Chicago. Formal, though, he's able to get behind this bar. Gunless, Arsenes, Scump, everybody contributing. They're going to hit this scrap time.
Well, it looks better now.
Yeah, it looks a lot better now, but you thought behind it that they were going to, I mean, they're going to take the lead, but you thought it would be a little bit larger. We're taking a look at our stats. Pretty even across the board for Dallas. Huki would love to see step up. Well, Chicago, they've just been so good. Every single player when it comes to hardpoint. Now we head to restaurant. Both teams just fighting for early control. You would love to have the Riverside, the top side of the map. Spawn your teammates out low.
And I think it's Gunless that won the gunfight to get that Riverside control. And that's exactly where the spawn starts coming in for the yellow arrows on the map. Gold arrows. As they spawn out low, they try to battle back in, but it's a contest fest inside for now. But the numbers seem to be there for Huntsmen. They're able to just narrowly hold on as Envoy gets 3 in a row at 13 and 7.
Yeah, you already see. I mean, Dallas, for the most part, has given this up. So this has been the biggest hill so far for Chicago. As they're going to get the last 20 seconds, Dallas, they have to go as we head back towards this shipping area. And this has to be a response now from Dallas.
And they won it, all right, 40-10, somewhere in that ballpark the first time, right? So
yeah, but you have the massive advantage just off spawn, right? You don't have that here now.
Very true. So even though it's the same hard point, it's a very different story going into it the second time. Scump with a big entry, hopping through tunnel. Shotzzy in the corner. Can he be the difference maker? 2 down with him, 3 down with him. Shotzzy with a nasty triple. And looks to line up the 4th. There comes the peak as Formal drops everybody down from Huntsmen. It's beautiful from Empire and Shotzzy early in the second set of rotations.
Yep, and then similarly what we saw on the first side, they want to try to get cafe control, so all of Chicago push on up. But Dallas did a great job retaking this when they had to. Shotzzy still alive. He's on a 5-3 trying to find Gunless. Gunless finally takes care of him, shuts him down. But Dallas, they hold on to most of that hill. They keep themselves inside the game. They're going to fight for this scrap time, but Chicago have flipped the spawns here at Cafe. Now Clayster, you can see he's trying to get top blue control. We talked about it the first rotation. It's such an important part of this hill.
But Scump's there. Scump is already set up, trying to make sure they can't get into that spot. As Scump falls, I think it's Crim6 that'll now get into top blue. Sorry, Clayster will get right back in as he comes off spawn. So Clayster with the M4 looking to cut down the reinforcements. It's split spawn, kind of all over the place from Hudson now as they're trying to rally back. The spawns get very, very messy just due to the position of the players in and around the hard point. But because they're so far pushed out and they won the spawns inside, look how far out Empire was. That was basically across the map. That's about as deep a spawn you're going to get in Modern Warfare.
Yeah, Formal, though, he's really starting to heat up. He's on 4 in a row. He's the reason they held on to this hill, and he's the one who got pushed out. As well, Arsenes right there with him. Envoy as well.
He's been their MVP on Cafe from both sides.
That's 12 kills in a row for Chicago. Finally, Clayster is able to end that. Now going to be a 60-point lead, and really throughout Modern Warfare, this has been the question. Can you respond with a great hold of your own? Now down 60 points. Can Dallas bring this one back?
They have to go huge in Hazmat. This is their chance to do it. It's Hook that's watching River. He's going to get flanked. Empire look to be getting opened up. The smokes come out for Huntsmen as the push comes through. Illy, I thought, got bad timing for a second. Just spots him inside of the window and now trying to finesse. A nice one-on-one win top, but Scump there for the trade. 4 gonna drop for Empire. They're still spawning in the back, but inside the hard point go Huntsmen. They disrupted early. In the opening 20 seconds, they're able to break through, and I think that's where you had to have a better hold if you're Empire, if you're gonna take this map.
Still a one-on-one, but Envoy continues. 7 in a row, 21 and 10. The knife is out from Envoy, able to cut down Crim.
Envoy's eating now. Envoy's eating now. Even the hip fire going through as the streak will end at 8. Just 37 more points needed for Huntsmen to close out this map, to close out this series, and to continue to dominate this rivalry against Empire.
And once again, they're already on the rotation. They're always a step ahead. And a lot of that is due to Envoy. I feel like he's really, his playstyle is sort of built around that to make the right play, to try to get those spawns.
Oh, look at his time at the hard point right now. It was 2.5 minutes.
And then when they need a break, it's like Scump and Envoy. They're just able to find their way in, just weasel their way through, and they're able to pick up those multi-kills, and that's what breaks the setup of Dallas. And now just 15 more seconds to close this series out 3-1.
A last-ditch effort for Empire, as they've yet to take a hard point within this matchup. Crim 6 going huge to keep them alive in this game. 10 seconds away from at least making sure that Huntsmen can't close it out on this hard point. Good job contesting, but a contest is not enough to win this game. You still have a ton of time on the play clock, so the comeback is there.
It's there, but they don't have restaurant control either. One player from Chicago already rotated. Guess who? It's Envoy. Always the first one there, it feels like. He's got a one-on-one going down, able to win it, takes down Hook.
Every single time, man, he is ahead. Every single time. It's Envoy makes heads-up play, high skill play, play after play. It is all Envoy. It is all Huntsmen.
He's 30 and 12 with almost 3 minutes in the hill. This is an absurd performance from Envoy.
One of the more ridiculous stat lines you're ever gonna see in Hardpoint. It's Envoy, it's Huntsmen, and they dominate the map 4.
Every time I looked at the mini-map and I was like, who's going to rotate for Chicago, right? They were a step ahead. It was Envoy. A couple of times at Pool Hall, a few times at Hazmat, he was the one that broke in. When Dallas had to respond, Envoy cut him down.
Well, we've talked about the differences kind of in spawns for this particular title in Hardpoint versus others. How important is that situation still? That early rotation, how big is it compared to past titles?
Especially on Petro, this is one of the maps where like it kind of makes sense compared to past titles. If you look at Hazmat, if you look at Pool Hall, you're able to really push them out.
So more old school Hardpoint on that map?
Yeah, and you can see the way Envoy played it. He knows how important it is to flip those maps.
Well, Huntsmen, they get the 3-1 W on stage. We've got Scump with Frankie.
Is the instant reaction presented by PlayStation. I had to grab Scumpy for this crowd, didn't I, London? Yes, indeed. Now, Scump, last time you faced the Empire in Minnesota, they beat you on S&D. This time around, you managed to sort it out. How?
I don't know, really. We kind of clutched up. They choked a little bit. We played to our strengths. We just played an all-around good S&D map. We kind of like figured out their strategy halfway through it and then adjusted to it, and it ended up working in the end. So
just tell me, percentage-wise, was it more of a choke on their part or a victory on yours?
A little bit of both. Probably more of a choke on their part, though.
Okay, so what happened to you guys on domination then? Do you think you got overconfident?
No, they played the map well. Our comms were a little bit stale. They just rode their momentum, and they honestly played the map pretty well. They snuck a few times through A, and we just couldn't keep track of them. It felt like there were 7 of them, like we were saying.
It does feel like there's no stopping the Huntsmen, but let's face it, we're only in the 2nd event of the CDL. Modern Warfare is still a new game. Are you concerned about other teams catching up with you as they learn the game a bit more?
I mean, yeah, the skill gap's going to keep closing and closing as people learn the game, but the only thing we can do is try to stay at the top and just keep improving our individual game, which I think we're doing a good job of doing so far.
You are indeed, and I want to ask if you got any words for this crowd, because they clearly love you, Scump.
You guys are awesome. I love London. Y'all always come out. I also have one more thing to say. Shit was easy.
question was maybe easy. Will it be easy for our next two teams? That was the instant reaction presented by PlayStation. Coming up next, though, this crowd, you guys don't want to miss it. It's the London Royal Ravens versus New York Subliners, the